What? I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
Make sure you're clicked into OBS. Hey, good morning, everybody. Oh, hey, what's good? Good morning, everybody. Unfortunately, Zach's fade button is not really cooperating right now, so we may have to do a manual fade. You know how to do a manual fade in OBS, Zach?
Let's see.
Oh man. Oh no,
there
he's
we go.
here. No, he's
I'm here.
It's all good. See, there is no technical difficulties to begin with. Don't even don't worry, your little sweethearts. Welcome everybody. This should be episode number 99, I think. Therefore, I get to welcome you to this very special episode where there is nothing in particularly special. But we're here today. I am Anuki Arthur, and this is Zach, and today we're just going to talk about the weather.
Today's forecast: light showers throughout the rest of eternity because we live in a rainy state.
Back to you, Steve.
Thanks, Jim.
I feel like fucking goop right now, but it's okay because I'm sitting here editing these damn videos, Zach. Sitting here editing
these edits.
Editing these damn edits, but it's okay because I'm about to allow myself the ability to take a break because I'm off to the Philippines.
Yay!
Yay! This will be the last episode before I am off to the motherland. I'm not Filipino, but the motherland indeed, where I get to hang out, go to the beaches, and do a bunch of social things with a bunch of social people, Zach. Do I look like a social person?
No, but that's okay.
Yeah, so I'm worried.
Dude, it'll be great. I think you're really gonna enjoy yourself.
Thank you. You know, have you ever traveled internationally?
No.
I learned that traveling internationally fucking sucks to do. Like paperwork wise.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
That shit fucking sucks, Zach. I didn't even do most of it either. Most of it was handled elsewhere. Or by my cousin, or by the nice man who organized it. But the amount of there was only like two main things I had to do, but it's just so confusing in order to do it. Like there is forms to fill out, and that's fine, right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You know, because I'm traveling to a foreign place, I got to do the passport. You know, all those things, right? I already have my passport, but like filling the form out and stuff with the right things. You know, the right dates and passport numbers and this and that, and it makes sense, sure. But why do they make everything so confusing to find in your things? Like, let's say, for example, okay, this is gonna sound silly, but the airports, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know technically what airport. Like, I mean, we're flying. Like, I'm flying PDX, right? That's it, which is Portland, right? That's obvious. And we're flying Japan Airlines because we're going from PDX to Japan. And then we're going from Japan to Korea and Korea to the Philippines. What fucking airport do I put, Zach? I don't know.
That's so funny. So,
and then I have to pick the flight number because the flights are the specific flights are numbered, which makes sense, but I don't know what fuck number it is. And there's just so many, and you're like, okay, well, it's probably in the ticket. I have 2 tickets. One to Japan and Tokyo, and then a different one to the Philippines. I'm so confused. So I was thinking, okay, well, this is obvious. I'm picking the Philippines flight because that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm supposed to do the Japan flight.
What?
I'm so confused, Zach. This is the exact reason. See, I like to think, Zach, that maybe I'm tooting my own cock right now, but I like to think that I know a decent amount of things in general about life.
Right.
Like I know enough. Like, this is the type of things where I prefer, or I consider myself more street smart than book smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd like to think that in general, as life passes me by, I can figure a lot of things out.
Mm-hmm.
But this type of shit is the type of time when I would pay someone to do it for me because it doesn't make any sense.
That's so weird.
I would get an accountant and I would get What, or is that kind of the right word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Like a manager?
Like a manager. Yes, I would get a manager.
I need to speak to your manager.
I need to speak to your manager. Oh, I actually have one this time.
I need to speak to my own manager.
I need to speak to my manager because I'm so confused, Zach. It's
I
so
need an adult.
confusing. Like I'm drawing a blank, coming up with examples because that's how confused I was filling out this form. And there was also like things like, oh gosh, I would have to look at it specifically. But there was so many things I had to ask a bunch of questions for. And I felt like a fucking idiot because I basically had to ask how to fill out the entire form. So not only did I sound like an incompetent guest to this nice person who's letting us go, who I haven't met yet, but I also feel incompetent myself. But I don't because that's a stupid form. You know what should happen, Zach? Hi. Hello, airport. Oh, hello, random person. Who are you? Hi, I am Anuki. I'd like to go to the Philippines. Okay, cool. This is how much it would cost. Cool, thank you.
I mean, there are some formalities that are kind of obvious when you're talking about traveling internationally, but the amount...
No. Absolutely not. Here's my passport. This is everything I need. Here's my license. There's everything I need. Don't talk to me ever again.
Leave me alone.
Here's my credit card. Just take my money. No, not trains. Well, maybe trains. No, it's specifically that trains are so simple that planes should be the exact same way.
That's
it's an air
fair.
train. Zach, come on.
It's a sky car.
Like the at least I understand if it's domestic travel, it's much easier, but it's still a fucking process.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand why, but I feel like we've been around the block so long here, we've had airplanes in the air for so long that there should be a dumb-proof way to fly domestically, and then that would make internationally just a couple more steps afterwards. Give me proof of passport and ID, and then that's it. That's what I think it should be. And then afterwards, everything is handled in a system level.
That's true. Yeah, you would think that they would do a little bit more to kind of make sure that when you travel internationally and you're only planning on visiting, that like you can come home and like it's not just this giant fucking process.
Yeah, I feel this was like a multi-day process. Like why? And again, I didn't even do most of it.
Right.
So the fact that I didn't do most of it, I'm just like, what the fuck what is going? I don't know, man. These type of things make no sense to me.
So how long is your layover over in Japan?
It's like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's...
Yeah, I know. And then about another hour and a half in Seoul, Korea. But yeah, I mean, I'm not leaving the airport, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, unless I'm booking it like as fast as I can to Akihabara for 20 minutes and then back.
You're like, I need to buy some Japanese candy.
So, unfortunately, can't really explore Japan. But I mean, that's fine. I'd rather do it in a full dedicated trip.
Right.
But at least I'll step foot in weeb soil, and then I can buy some weeb stuff for the airport or something, and then
In Sunshine Land.
in Sunshine Land, and then that'd be it. I wonder if they have hentai figures in the airport. Probably not. Well, it's Japan.
I don't know about in the airport, but maybe somewhere close.
I don't know, man. It is Japan.
It is Japan.
It is Japan.
Maybe?
I would buy airport hentai. That'd be really funny. Not even for like the logistics. It would just be really funny to have airport hentai. I'd put it on my shelf. Like, what the fuck? Why do you have a hentai? Oh, you're not gonna believe where I found this.
I just imagine a I Heart Tokyo shirt that's just covered in hentai.
I don't think they. Well, yeah, that'd be really funny.
You know, I feel like...
I just want a silly Japanese shirt because there is this idea, and again, I haven't really tested if it exists, or I don't know if test the right word, but seen if it exists. But there's this funny just design like thing in anime where it's like there's the idea of like lame shirts or dasse shirts, which I don't know if that's the correct term, but that's what I imagine. Where it's just lame. It's just like a random blank shirt and just like a picture of like, I don't know, just like an eel, and then it just says in English letters eel, and that's
Dude, I love seeing foreign countries make shirts that are written in English.
Yeah, but it could be in Japanese too. You could say, what is it? Unagi? I don't know. I don't remember what it is in eel. But it would just be that. And then that's the shirt. And it's just lame as fuck. And then then anime people or anime characters just wear those shirts like at home or something like that. And I'm like, that's so fucking fun. I would just have a lame ass shirt that just says a random noun.
I think there's a market. Tree.
Yes, exactly. And then that's just the shirt.
Dude, honestly, I think it would be really funny if at any point if we end up making like merchandise or anything like that, if it just said like if we did something similar to that where it was just like some random inanimate object.
Oh yes, that'd be great. But it'd have to pertain to the show.
Yeah, but we could put our logo on it. Like it would just be like eel. And
Eel.
then and then just like a little tiny Uned logo.
Unagi Station. Unagi Podcast.
Apache attack helicopter.
Apache attack helicopter. Have you ever had eel?
I have not.
I have not either, actually. Well, actually, I probably have, but I didn't know it was eel. So, I mean, I don't know if I'll... Well, I guess maybe we try it over there. I don't know. It's going to be a whole big adventure because I have, again, absolutely no clue what's over there. Mm-hmm. In Philippines, that is. But I don't remember. I forgot to note down how or add up the hours of how long it's going to take, because I know 15 hours is a number that exists. I don't know if that's a whole trip or if that's from here to Japan.
That sounds like from here to Japan, because
yeah.
you're going like basically halfway around the world,
right through the Pacific Ocean,
as opposed to the general ocean.
So yeah, and I'm not specifically going through the Atlantic Ocean, so it wouldn't be long, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be fast for that matter. I don't know these things. My frame of time, because I don't travel a lot, so my frame of time doesn't really work in the air. I don't know how long places are in between each other. Like I don't even know. I could probably take a guess, but I don't even really could say off the top of my head how far the plane ride to like California is. Like 3 hours?
Yeah, like 2.5.
2.5 hours, 3 hours? Okay, cool. That was a good guess. Coming from someone who's flown there like 4 or 5 times now. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know that my flight to Vegas is going to be like 2 hours, so it's not going to be bad at all, which is going to be really nice because, I'm big, tall, lanky man, and, it doesn't really work out very well for me to be able to sit in coach
right
and just be there for 5.5 6 hours like when I went to Hawaii. That was brutal, dude.
So we actually thought about upgrading our seats to one. I mean, I think we'd still be in econ, but we would just have more legroom, which I think means we end up going in the front or something like that. But that would be another $100 each.
Oof.
Now in the grand scheme of things, for however much it actually costs to fly there, which is like a couple grand, not that much more, but considering, and especially considering we didn't pay for that part, but still 100 plus extra for an extra legroom sounds pretty rough. I don't know. I actually thought about it and I was like, I don't know, because it is 15 hours.
That's true.
But
Plus whatever it is to get from Japan to Korea and then Korea to the Philippines.
Right. But I'm not. But this would only be from here to Japan.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know, because I don't fly a lot, so I don't even remember how much legroom there is, because I know stereotypically there's not a lot, but I'm also not that tall.
Right.
So I don't really remember if I cared for that much legroom.
You'll find out.
Yeah, I'll find out. This will be the finder outer. And I mean, I think if we really want to, we can buy it for the flight back. So we'll see.
I mean, honestly, if anything, this first leg of the trip from here to Japan is going to be a really good gauge to figure out, like, when we go to Japan, like, what that's going to be like.
Yes.
Because, I mean, dude, that's going to be absolutely torturous for me unless I fly like business class or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely going to do. Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll decide if we have to suck it up or not, depending on how much it costs.
Oh God.
Well, that'll be a decision we make when we get there.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yes. But I mean, if the funds are right and we both ideally have jobs at that point,
Right.
then I don't see why we wouldn't, but we'll see. But as of right now, I don't have a job, so I need to minimize as much money as possible.
Right.
So that is currently the plan. And I mean, maybe it's also where we did it like we started talking about it yesterday, and we leave from our flight. I think it was yesterday. We leave for our flight tomorrow, so maybe it's a time frame thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, so hopefully it's all right. I don't know. I'm just worried, but at the same time, I can get comfortable. Like if I have to, I can suck things up. Like I've been on a car ride for a really long time, and I hate car rides. As everybody knows, I don't like driving.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you can just kind of brute force your way through. And that's kind of what I ended up having to do when I went to Hawaii. It was just kind of like, well, this is the card I was dealt. I feel bad for the person who was sitting in the aisle because I had to get up like 3 times.
Oh yeah, I'm probably these days I'm a frequent bathroom goer.
I'm in the same boat, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's because I've been drinking more water these days, right? And more beverages in general. Like, part of it is coffee, but I've been drinking a lot of water.
Right.
So because of that, I go up to the bathroom a lot more. And I mean, I suppose that's a good thing, right? Obviously, but I noticed that because especially during my high school days, I could literally go to the bathroom once, and it's not even a poop; it's just a pee, and I'm like, yep, I'm content
for the rest of the day.
Because I wouldn't. I mean, no, okay, maybe that's a lie. I would pee in the morning. Do you take a morning pee or a morning poop?
Morning pee.
I know a lot of people do a morning poop. And it makes sense, especially if you don't do so the day before and you eat a lot. Or like the night before. Which I don't. But I still don't need to take that poop. Perhaps it's just because my digestive system is strong.
Maybe it's just that you're a PM pooper.
Perhaps. I am a PM pooper. But basically, like at school, for example, I would wake up and then pee. And then I would hold it because I wouldn't dare to use a public bathroom.
Fair enough.
So I'm just like, yep, I'm just going to hold it until I'm back home.
Right.
So I'm holding it all the way, even past track practice. And I'm back home around when would that be? Like 3, 4 p.m. at that point?
Somewhere around
there, right after our extracurricular activities. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Time to play video games. And then I would just hold it. But not because of anything. Like, I want to hold it, but it's just I don't have to go.
That's fair.
Now I'm like, it's been an hour. Yeah, I can go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a really interesting story. Trying to figure out like your own body's schedule. Like it's super interesting to just kind of learn as you get older. It changes so drastically. But anyways, back to like traveling and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely be a frequent bathroom user, so I would probably get up a lot. And that's the thing that scares me the most. One time, I think it was in California, I think so, when I went by myself, I'm pretty sure, because we were going for MLG Anaheim. And fucking coolest dude ever. Like I was in the so when you travel, you get assigned seats, right? And then that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
However, on our flight back, there was me and my parents, because I went with my parents, and they were on. I don't know how it ended up like this, but it's probably just how it goes. They were on one side of the aisle, and I was on the other side of the aisle, and it was me and some Indian dude, and we get in our seats or whatever, and the flight takes off, and me and the Indian dude look at each other, and then we look at the empty seats behind us, and then he goes, I'm gonna sit over there. I'm like, all right, good shot. And then he gets up and moves over to the empty seats, and so we get an entire seatings to ourselves. It was fantastic.
That's fucking awesome.
And that's a rare occurrence in a flight, especially one that has to do with California. So that was a great time.
Oh, dude, those flights are never.
Yes, to and from, it's always packed like sardines. In the summer too.
Yeah.
So it was a great time. So me and Indian dude bonded over just having non-assigned seats. Because I think about it, like, how much do they actually care?
So I think the assigned seats only pertain to like when you're first boarding, just because like they have X amount of seats and
right, that makes sense.
And then outside of that, I'm sure that they don't really give a shit because it's just like you're in the plane.
Right.
Everyone
Like,
who's gonna be in the plane,
What are you gonna do? Kick you out?
they're like, bro, we're at 30,000 feet right now. You need to get the fuck out of here, dog.
Here's a parachute. Stay in your fucking seat next time. Because the only idea I have in my head is like middle school buses, where if you're not in your assigned seat, you're gonna get in trouble. But in the adult world, like who fucking cares, right? Like I remember the difference of living my entire school, like from K to grade 12, assigned seats, sit in your assigned seat. You have to. And then going from that to college, and nobody fucking cares. Oh, what a whiplash that was, Zach. I was so scared. Even if I picked my own seat, I was so scared to not pick another seat.
You know, it's interesting because in my brief stint in college, it was that way where it was kind of like you can sit wherever the hell you want. And then it was just kind of like wherever people chose to sit at the beginning of the term, that's just where they would sit for the rest of it.
I mean, to be fair, it's one of those things where I don't know if it's that assigned seats are ingrained in your head that hard, or it's just like why there isn't really a big reason to not, you know? Like you sit one place and you're like, all right, like what are you gonna sit somewhere else? Like I don't know. I mean, maybe like you're not feeling it, but after like week 1, you're basically just there.
Yeah, and then it throws you the fuck off when someone sits in your seat and you're like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Oh my gosh, it happens so many times. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Tell them not to? Like, that's my assigned seat. Like, no, like, it doesn't matter that much. But at the same time, I feel like there's like a general etiquette of like, why, like, what, is there a reason? But what happens, right, is, I don't know, in my mind, like, you're in a classroom, right? Not even a lecture hall, a classroom. And it's the first couple weeks and you're figuring everything out and you sit in the right spots, right? Or your own spots, right? And as the week goes on, you make friends or whatever with your classmates as you group up and such. And then now you want to sit next to your friends. So let's say there's a person in the front and the person in the corner of the room and they want to sit next to their friend. So or their new friend. So the corner guy sits in the front. Well, the corner guy's in the front has to take someone else's seat. So that person has to take someone else's seat, and that person has to take someone else's seat, and that person has to take your seat. And I think it's this whole like idea of traffic, right?
Yeah.
Where one person does a really fucking stupid cutoff, and that makes another person do a weird cut someone else off, you know, and then that's how traffic forms. It's oftentimes it's not even a crash. It's just one fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
Not that I'm calling them an idiot. They want to sit next to your friend. That's fine, right?
Right.
Making friends in college is hard. So, you know, it's whatever. That's cool. But it's this weird domino effect where now all of a sudden someone is sitting in your seat. And they didn't want to, but someone's sitting in their seat. And then now, okay, well, I guess I got to sit over here and I got to mingle with this random person now. Like, hey, what's good? Hey, you know.
Yeah, dude, honestly.
That's why I like lecture halls. Because if you sat in someone else's seat in a lecture hall, you really had to try.
Bro, talk about packed in like fucking sardines.
No, not even. Because the ones that I went in, it was never that packed.
Really?
I mean, there was more than in high school class, but even for like a busy class, like something like psychology or like biology or something like a science, it was never packed.
Interesting.
There was a lot of people for sure.
Yeah.
But it never filled the seats.
Interesting. Yeah, that is super weird that we just kind of have that subconscious, like, I need to sit in the seat that I sat in before. And like, honestly, dude, when I was at Clark, I didn't really talk to much of anybody. The only people who I talked to were the people who were like in the jazz band at Clark.
Right.
Because that's what I was doing. I was in the jazz band and all that kind of stuff. And then it was just like, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to school to be a music teacher. And then they were like, good fucking luck, buddy. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
You have to establish that in those relationships in the beginning.
Right.
Like as soon as you get, this is what I did in university. As soon as I walked in, okay, this is going to sound really like bad, but this was my strat, okay? I walk in and I sit next to a girl. Now, why is that? Because I want to flirt or anything? No. It's specifically to throw myself into the deep end and sit next to the opposite gender. That's it.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun. I don't have any cheat codes. I can't sit next to the nerdy guy with glasses or anything like that or whatever. I mean, I did though. I sat next to one nerdy guy, which it wasn't to cheat off of, but I was like, well, initially I was like, oh, he seems pretty smart, and I don't want to sit next to a person who sounded dumb because I didn't want to have the alternate effect where they're asking me things. And this is a biology class. You ask me something, I don't fucking know. But homie was super cool. Anyways, I sit next to a female because I am a male, and I am forced to put every single fucking ounce of social ability into my body,
Right.
in order to not look like a fucking idiot. And then I'd also, like, hey, what's good? Hey, I'd do basic minor conversational mingling, and that would do me well.
Right.
I also found that I'm actually better communicating with females in general, or for the first time. For dudes, not so much, I found. I'm not sure why, but that's what I found in college. So I was like, okay, well, it works, and I talk better, so I'm just going to sit next to girls most of the time.
You're just one of the homies.
One of the homies, one of the homegirls, Zach. I sit down, girl, you're not going to believe this.
Bitch, no way.
Bitch, no way. I actually developed talking like that sometimes to females. Bitch, no way. You ain't going to believe this, bitch. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy that.
Girl, you have no idea.
Girl, you fucking no idea what happened at work today. No, I'm not like that, but it's really funny.
Oh my God, wait. I just remembered I left a sticker here that said Boba Queen.
You did. It's over there. I was like, I saw it and I was like, is that mine? It is something that I would have, but I feel like I don't think I have it.
So Jackson, I don't know where the fuck he got it from, but he just gave it to me and he was like, here you go. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with this. And I was like, I know just the person to give this to. And I just like sneakily snuck it.
Yeah, it was just on my desk. I was like, is this mine?
It is now, bitch.
I'm not really a sticker person. Not that I'm not grateful for it, but it's just like I realize that I don't utilize stickers a lot, but mostly because I enjoy a clean look for most things. Like, I would never sticker bomb my laptop.
That's fair.
Would you?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
would you put a sticker on your laptop?
Ooh.
Or like 2 to 3 stickers?
Probably not. I'm kind of like a 0 or 100 type person. It's either nothing or just like a clusterfuck, like a cacophony of just random shit.
Like, I do enjoy. I've seen them before, like people who sticker bomb their like laptop lid to the point where there's absolutely no laptop surface area left, right? And that's cool because that's like a commitment, right? Like you said, 100, right?
Yeah.
But if there's like 5 stickers on the lid, I'm like, come on, man. Like, what? It just looks bad. There's no coherent theme or anything. It's just random stickers you probably found. You're like, fuck it, I'll put it on my laptop.
I mean, I started sticker bombing one of my desks at home, and that's been a tedious process.
Sure. Well, it's a bigger surface area.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm probably going to need like 400 stickers to be able to cover the entire thing. And by that point, the desk is going to be completely ruined anyways because of just the random shit that happens.
You can have some of my stickers if you want. Just trying to use them.
Okay. But yeah, dude, it's definitely really interesting trying to like figure out what your dynamic is with other people. Like I know that in some groups of friends that I've had, I am the agent of chaos.
Right.
And then in other groups of people, I'm like the person reeling them in. Like, hey, yo. Like,
yeah, well, in university, you kind of have to do that because nobody else will. I learned this. And well, this was the assumption I made, and that's why I went into it my freshman year. Well, technically like sophomore because it's college class, but my first year, I went in. I was like, I know how this is gonna go down. I have a premonition. That's so Raven. I had a vision, right?
Brain blast.
Right? And I was like, if I don't talk to anybody, I'm gonna talk to nobody. And I am not.
Bro, that was the most fucking profound thing you've ever said.
Exactly, because I know how I've had it. Oh no, it's also because I went to Clark, right? And I noticed this, and I was like, if I don't talk to anybody, I'm never gonna talk to anybody. That's how it was in my psychology class. That's how in when I went to Clark College in high school. That's how it was in other classes where if there was no group work, I don't talk to anybody. And that's I think I was scarred for life when I went into a honors English 2.
No way.
I was scarred because I didn't talk to anybody. And for the first day, we had to read Huckleberry Finn. Did you ever read Huckleberry Finn?
I'm sure I did at some point. I can't.
It was a really controversial book about slavery. What's his name? Really famous writer that I'm losing right now.
Tom Sawyer?
I think so. Right?
Or fuck.
He has like an award too, I'm pretty sure. Or does he? What am I? I'm pretty sure you're right. Hold on, I'm gonna check. But that was a fun one because I mean, luckily we didn't have to read out loud because I said the N-word a lot. Huckleberry Finn. Well, that's the reason why they were taking it down, like in schools, because Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
That's what. Yes.
I had a picture of his mustache in my head.
I had a picture. Like there was like an award for it. I was like, I'm pretty sure of this, but I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, Mark Twain, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. But that's besides the point. Maybe that could be a fun topic to talk about. But I went into the class, and I can't remember if there was anybody I knew. No, there was a few people I knew, but we were supposed to get into groups, and we would talk about the book. Like we would present it by chapter basis, and I got put into a group, and it was a group of 4, and the other 3 people were friends,
and
I was not.
Oh no.
And I had made the conscious decision, or the unconscious decision rather, to not socialize immediately, and because of that, I snowball effect to the point where I could not socialize afterwards with them. And yeah, you could say like, oh, just talk with them, right? That's harder than it sounds. I can't just, after not talking with them, start talking with them randomly and acting like I'm part of the gang. So it was tough. So that scarred me, and then ever since then, I was like, okay, I have to be friends immediately in the first day of class. I have to mingle at least a little bit, or I have to put the conscious effort, so that way afterwards I don't have to anymore. Because putting the conscious effort later in the semester or whatever is way harder because the icebreakers are gone.
Yeah.
So going into university, I was like, I'm going to just sit down and I'm going to be the guy to talk, because I'm going to be the guy who I wish I was with previously.
Right.
I wish someone would talk to me. No one's going to talk to you. I'm going to be the guy. So I come in and I go, hey, what's up? What's good? How are you? What do you do? What is your social security? Like normal talking stuff, right? So that way we could break the ice. And now I have a singular or a couple friends to go through the semester with.
You're like, I got my top 3 questions ready. What's your social security number? What's your blood type?
And how are you?
And what's your home address? How to be social 101.
So yeah, that's how it went. And I know when I took my communications class, which I loved, this was during Clark too. I would just say, or we get put into groups, and it's funny, right? You get put into groups, and then and you can pick your groups every single time. So we pick our groups for the first time, and that works perfectly because nobody knows each other.
Right.
So that makes way more sense than picking your groups later. So then afterwards, that happens. You do your group project, and okay, you can pick your groups for the next project. And then, of course, everybody picks the same group, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it works every year. Well, maybe a couple people shift, but otherwise, the groups are predominantly the same.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. That's how that works, and it's great. So that ends up being the friend group that you create, and that's a great system. And more classes should adopt the system of you can pick your groups, but do it like immediately.
Yeah.
Like in the first couple weeks, work on a group project. Don't do assignments. No, do a group project. Or group assignment, whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Group something. Group sit down and stare at the wall. I don't know. Something.
Group grouping.
Something. I don't know. So you gotta work on something. The icebreaker, like get into groups and say your name and
What's your favorite
fag? Like that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
You know, we did that. It's so funny. We did that during orientation, right?
God, yeah.
We went into, at least for WSU, we went into groups. Like we were split up into different groups, and we walked around campus and played games and stuff. I don't know. It wasn't that it was cringe. No, that wasn't it. It was fun for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But I never talked to those people at all throughout the rest of my years in WSU, even though I saw them.
That's interesting. Dude, oh my God. I just had like a flashback, like a Vietnam flashback. Do you remember high school orientation at the end of 8th grade?
I think I do. I'm pretty sure I do. We were like in an assembly, right?
Yeah. So,
and then we were in like lines and stuff or whatever, and then we had yes, okay, I remember.
So what I remember, so I was on both sides of this scenario. It was really, really cool. So basically, when the buses showed up with all the kids from all the different middle schools that were going to be funneling into the high school, they got welcomed by like the basketball pep band and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then they had their people who were like showing them around and everything like that. And then they went into the gym and had like an assembly type thing.
Okay.
And like a get to know you type thing. And it was really cool because I had that like doing the orientation and tour type thing. And then I was also one of the people who was playing in the band whenever all the middle schoolers would show up. And so I ended up like accidentally meeting like a shit ton of underclassmen like before they were coming into the school because I was just band nerd dude man, bro. Right. And a lot of the friends that I had in high school had younger siblings, and so they knew me, and so they'd be like, "Oh, I'm friends with that guy. He knows my brother." Because that's such an accurate representation of how they would talk to.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Oh, geez, Rick.
But yeah, it was really cool to kind of have that icebreaker activity to like at least go to the school before you were forced to figure out how to navigate it. Oh my God, dude. I don't think I showed up on time for a class my first year of high school for like 4 days.
Oh.
Like I felt like a lost puppy. Yeah. I was just like, I don't know where to go. And like it had gotten to a point where
I feel like they expect that. Like there's be a bunch of freshmen that would be late to school or late to class every single day for at least a month.
Probably, yeah. And oh my God, dude, there was a time where Kevin, my brother, had to like show me around to a bunch of my classes until I could get it sorted. And like, dude, the first week of school every single year wasn't like equally as confusing, but it was just like I didn't know that this classroom existed, or like you would end up going to like different corners of the school that you had never really been to before.
I mean, you could live your life like in like one corner of the school.
Right.
You know, like you could the way our school was set up, it was basically a circle. But a lot of the classes, like the specific class, like for example, like tech and welding and stuff, was in one corner of the school. So if you never did any of that, you could have never gone to the 800-900 buildings in your life.
God, dude, that's so weird.
I don't think I have. No, I went to every building. Yeah, I went to every building, but you could literally never go to some of the buildings in the school in your entire 4 years. So I can see that.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I think I had classes in every single building, but it was the weirdest part is that the classrooms were like on the inside and the outside of the circle.
Yeah.
And so that's how it would get super confusing because you'd be like, oh, okay, you know, I have a class in 7:15, but 7:15 is on the far corner on the outside, and you're like, where the fuck am I supposed to go right now? And like our high school wasn't even that big in the grand scheme of things.
I think it's just the downfall of an outdoor campus.
Yeah.
There's no, like, hallways are just like straightforward.
I mean, Clark is pretty similar to that too.
Oh yeah, it's just one huge fucking campus. The only upside is if you're late, you can do shortcuts.
You got your speed run routes, like how I could get there in.
Well, what if you are one class is in one corner of the Clark campus, and your next class in 5 to 10 minutes is in the other corner? You're fucked,
bro. I had that shit happen.
Yeah, you're fucked. Like what? Even if it's not in the other side of the campus, it's so big that if you're in one corner and then your class is like in the center, it's still such a long fucking walk or run or even drive to the next parking lot. It doesn't matter. You're gonna be late.
Dude, parking at Clark was such a shit show. It was.
This is why I was so happy to have a hatchback, a super dinky car that can just fit anywhere.
Dude, even with my Subaru, it was a little bit of a problem for a little while because some of the parking spots on Clark's campus are just so fucking small. And of course, we're dealing with people who do not know how to operate motor vehicles a lot of the time. And so there would be people who are like, you know, there's one car here, and you're trying to park in the middle, but both of them are like, meh.
Yeah, both.
And it's like there's no fucking way.
Or they're too close to your closer line or whatever. So you have to, and even if you do get in, you can't get the fuck out. Like it's so bad. I don't like. I understand in a sense why they do that because it's Clark, it's community college. There's a lot of people you need to pack, but it's so saddening when you see that parking spot and you're like, I can fit in there, but I will not be able to get out.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the high school had, like, Prairie had some of those spots too. And, dude, I'm so... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm really excited.
It makes me so mad. They got rid of senior parking.
No way. Why?
I don't know. But when we were seniors... They got rid of, like, the thing where you could buy your own parking spot. Like, they got rid of it.
Do they not? Oh, they did, huh?
Like, you got, like, a parking pass and, like, you know, your thing was special because you were a senior. Like, ooh. But outside of that, it's still free game. And I mean, you know, I guess I'm kind of lucky because I showed up an hour before everybody else every day. Well, almost every day. And so... It was kind of like, okay, whatever, you know, I'll just park wherever. But on the days that I didn't, it was like, I'm fucked.
Right, yeah.
Like trying to show up at normal people time.
Yeah, I just didn't park in the parking lot. A high school parking lot is the worst place to be in with a vehicle.
I agree.
There's a bunch of high schoolers who are first starting to drive, or they've drove for a long time and still don't know how to drive, and it's just fucking, it's a nightmare. Imagine bumper to bumper, but it's a bunch of teenagers. Oh my God, that's a nightmare.
Oh, and then they'll stop in the middle of the line to like chit chat with one of their friends, and it's like, move out of the fucking way.
Yeah, or they just don't understand the idea of like, hey, take turns trying to get through, or like a zipper, you know?
Yeah.
Like zipper entrances where one person goes in, next person goes in, one person goes in, next person goes in to merge into the same exit to fucking no. It's like, I'm gonna go. No, I'm gonna go. Like, why are you competing? Stop it! What is the point? We're all leaving.
God forbid there's a 4-way stop. It's like,
oh my God,
bro.
it's like, what's going on? So I always park in the neighborhood, like the one next to it.
Oh yeah.
And it's literally, and you think about parking in a neighborhood besides a school, and you're like, oh, you have to walk a lot. No, we're literally right next to it. It's right next to one of the entrances. It's just park there and just walk like a fifth of a mile and you're good. Or sixth, I don't even know. Well, maybe it's a fifth now because before there was like a big field and we would just cross the field like diagonally.
Oh yeah.
And now they actually have more apartments there. So
Bro,
you have to go
so
around.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So it's really cool because I saw the high school in so many different moments of development and all that kind of shit. Like, you know, the side entrance on 117th, the one that is not at the light, it's the one right before it.
Yeah.
So that used.
Oh yeah. 117. I'm thinking of. I don't call someone. I call it 503, but sure.
Oh, okay.
But there's like 50 names for it, so it's fine. It's like 117, 503. Technically, it's 500. It's confusing. But go ahead.
I don't know. Anyway, so that used to be the only entrance to the high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, even through the Winco parking or the Winco light?
But the Winco ended up getting put there after my sister graduated high school in 2011.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I do. Well, I remember it. Yeah, I remember it popping up because we used to be Kroger family.
And now you're a Winco.
And now we're a Winco family.
Yeah, and so it's really interesting because I saw it during that period of time. And of course, you know, when I was in middle school, that was like right when that intersection opened up.
Right.
And they made it so that that whole entrance was there with like the tennis courts and everything like that. I think the tennis courts were there still, but anyways. So, and then I saw like when the intersection first opened, and then, you know, of course, it was like a desolate wasteland all around it because there was nothing fucking there. And then, you know, they put the fairway in, they put in like all of that kind of stuff. I'm so mad that they waited or they're like they didn't put the Taco Bell in until after we graduated high school.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's
such
pissed.
a nice place for a Taco Bell.
Bro, they probably make so much fucking money.
Oh yeah, bud. A lot of money. A lot of money go there.
A lot of money go there.
Got a lot of money go there. But also a lot of high school kids, so I would fucking hate to work there.
Oh, dude,
It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, I would rather not do that. I would rather not have a job than work at Taco Bell right next to a high school.
Yeah. Because otherwise, I never really went there. But there was a Subway there.
Yes.
There was a Subway there, and I loved that Subway.
Oh my God, dude. When I could go off campus, I would just go to Subway.
It's so nice. I mean, Subway money for a high schooler is a lot of money, even back when it was $5. But oh my goodness, it was so nice to go to. I loved eating at Subway. I still love Subway. I know that's just a distant dream now.
I know.
$5 foot long with inflation. With a decade worth of inflation.
$5.06.
The 6 inches are like $5 now, huh?
Yeah.
That's so sad. I think a lot about inflation after working a job, and it's like it sounds like a lot of money, but after how much more you're making because of the wage, it's actually not that much more. But it just feels like it's a lot because we reference to a time when it was only $5. But at this point, wage is like $5-6 more than it was.
That's fair.
Oh, so maybe 5-6 is generous, like $4 or $5 because I don't remember how wage was now, but now we're like $15.50. I'm pretty sure, right?
I don't know. I mean,
when I started working in 18, it was 13, or no, it was like $12.50. So I would imagine even before then, it was probably like 10.
Like minimum wage?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. That would be a good thing to kind of look at and just see how much it's changed.
Well, let's give her a go.
Let's give her a go.
Let's give her a go. We have the power of Google, bud. But yeah, I didn't go off campus a lot, honestly. I know a lot of people, they went to the Winco because the Winco that was constructed was literally across the campus from us. It was just a walk. And a lot of people would just go there and they would buy their foods. So a lot of people, they would get the sandwiches, they'd get snacks or whatever, and that would be their lunch. And I never did that. I still just kept going to the school lunch because did I talk about the Asian food there?
I don't.
The chopsticks and how I would never get the cauliflower or whatever. I don't know. So there was they called it chopsticks, which is a fantastically fucking mid 2000s. This is not racist now, but it's going to be racist in 5 years. But they called the Asian food chopsticks. I wonder if they still call it chopsticks. Oh, do we have? So we have a chart. Here we go.
So
what are we looking at?
Apparently nothing.
Apparently nothing. Fantastic.
Okay. Let's see. Nope. That's awesome.
Oh, maybe they. Maybe I changed the display capture. Oh, that's right. I think I did. Okay, whatever. Then I guess we won't have it for today. So what are we looking at here?
So what we are looking at is a minimum wage chart, and let's go down to. So in January 1st, 2000, minimum wage was $6.50.
Wow, for Washington.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Washington State.
So go to 2010. What is 2010?
2010 is $8.55.
$8.55, and now we're sitting at. It says, what is that? $15.74.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, that is almost triple.
I mean, it is triple from. So it's triple from January 1st, 1999, basically.
Right. But the $5 footlong was at least before 2010, right?
Oh, yeah, easily.
So in 2010, if it was about $6, right?
Hang on, I just thought of something really funny.
Sure. Yeah.
When
When was the foot long? I can't read what it says anymore. $5? Does that say 2008? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
2008.
Is that the guy who I think it is?
Oh, I'm so glad we're not.
I hope it's not the guy.
It's the guy. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. So is that 2008?
Yeah.
So what is the minimum wage of Washington in 2008?
Let's see.
We are looking at
807.
807. Okay. So now it's 1574. We have now. Yeah, so now it's actually cheaper now, right?
I don't know.
Or I feel like it would just be the same value, right? I mean, we could math it. So if wage is, while I'm doing this, look up the price of a footlong.
Okay.
So shout out to Subway for this free clout right now. So what was it? 807?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5, and let's multiply it by just sales tax or whatever it would be. I'll even be generous and give it 67% like it is now. 535, and then divide it by 807. That's 66%. All right, everyone remember 66%. So now we're going to do 1574 divided by 849. 849, and that is, oh shit. 1574 divided by, wait, no, did I do, oh, wait, no. 849 divided by 1574. Now it's 53%. So I guess it's not as much of a value. But it's not bad.
No, I mean, it's not bad at all.
It's about... No, actually, that would mean it's... Wait, I'm not good at thinking in relative value, but I'm pretty sure that means it's cheaper. By 10%.
That sounds right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Or 15% rather. Or like 13%. I'm okay with numbers, but when in terms, I didn't take statistics, so thinking of thinking value doesn't make sense to me. But I'm pretty sure because it's a lower percentage.
Yeah.
It is now. No, but it's lower value. Because if it's how much was it? 849 divided by 1574, so that's about 53 per dollar, 53%, 53 cents per, something like that. I don't know. I'm saying words.
Math is hard.
I didn't take statistics, so I can't really think in relative terms like that. But yeah, it's not that much different. But I think about like a bubble tea at our store when I started working cost $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
Now it costs $5.91. And that sounds like a lot, but
you worked
let's think about it. Yeah, I worked there for 4 years.
Yeah.
It is $5.91. Minimum wage has gone up like $4. And your drink is now only 92 cents more expensive.
So let's do some quick math.
Yeah, 2018.
2018,
$11.50. Oh, it's even, yeah, about $4. About $4.24, bud.
That's a lot of cents.
That's a lot of cents. That's a lot of loonies. So...
Lots of loonies and toonies.
Yeah, it's now your regular size drink is now 92 cents more. So when you look me in the eyes and say, "Why are your drinks so expensive now?" Oh, you're so fucking stupid.
I mean, okay, there are situations like that where it's like, okay, that makes sense. It's just a gradual increase as minimum wage goes up and as, inflation starts inflationing. But also, there are those places that have just drastically skyrocketed the prices of things.
Right.
Like, Dutch Bros or Starbucks or like, sorry to...
Well, it's a sad thing because those are big corporations, right?
Right.
So that's obviously there's one, inflation, and two, they're going to use inflation as an excuse to raise their profit margin.
Right.
Even though they can very easily bite any sort of bullet because they're multi-billion-dollar companies.
Right. And I mean, you bought a bag of coffee beans for like, let's say $15, right? And that could make you 20 cups of coffee.
Yeah, but you can say that about anything, At that point, you're also paying for labor, and you're paying for one, labor, and two, the ease of obtaining.
Right.
So there is a lot of prices. So you can't really make that judgment because you can always make something yourself for cheaper. Always.
Yeah.
99% of the time you can make something yourself for cheaper. So that argument is a little loose. However, I agree with you in that, yeah, bigger corporations, when they really use inflation as an excuse to bump their prices even higher, then that's just lame.
Right.
Like for the example of the bubble tea, I don't know what kind of math went into it, but technically it's cheaper to buy from our store, or I guess my previous store isn't working anymore, but from our store now than it was 4 years ago, even though the price is higher. So it ends up just being number psychology, right? The idea of $4.99 versus $5.
Yeah.
That idea, right? It sounds like a lot of money. From $4.99 to $5.91. That sounds like a big jump. But it's not. It's not even $1.
Right.
Right?
Also, RIP to the Taco Bell dollar menu.
Oh, I know, right? Well, it's like $1.29 or something like that, right?
Oh yeah, no. It's totally fine.
It's
like
perfect value. If anything, with that same idea, it's even cheaper now.
That's fair.
Right? Oh man, I lived off of Taco Bell in university. I mean, who didn't, right? But everybody, like, if Taco Bell was my fast food of choice, because for some reason, out of all, because it's at university, lunchtime, everybody, like all the food courts or all the fast foods and even not even fast foods, like slightly above fast food restaurants are conglomerated into one area, right? That means fucking chaos.
Right. Yeah.
And Taco Bell, you would think, and you'd be right, it was always fucking busy. Wasn't busy? Walking inside the building. That was the cheat code. Everybody was in the drive-thru, bumper to bumper, lurking in the parking lot. I just parked and walked inside.
Ordered on the little touch thingy and then...
Not even. I conversed with the people.
Okay.
And I said, hey, I'd like 2 $1 beef burritos. And they're like, say no more, fam.
They're like, I got you, BB.
I got you, BB. And the greatest thing was it was a great value, and I was always up because all I'd used to pay for it was tips that I got from work. So the people paid for my lunch, Zach. I was never down.
Stonks.
Stonks, actual stonks. To this day, I don't do it anymore because I work, but my mentality is all my tips go to food.
Yeah.
So that way the rest of my wage is just whatever the fuck. So that way I don't have to worry about it.
For the grand piano.
Which unfortunately that I mean, I have the funds, but now that I don't have a job, it makes it more hard to eat into.
Yeah.
But when I do get a job again, then yeah, that'll be ideal. However, that's besides the point. But yeah, Taco Bell was my food of choice. Oh, one time I had my Your Lie in April sweatshirt, and I walked into the Taco Bell. Homie goes, "That's a nice hoodie." And I'm like, "Thanks, man. Appreciate that." And this is 2018, right? Anime is not popular yet. Demon Slayer has not came out yet, right? So the fact that someone recognized my Your Lie in April shirt, I was like, you are cool.
There's hope.
There is hope. It's beginning. It's starting.
Dude, when I went to this ice cream shop over by the waterfront. Can't remember what the place is called, but they sold like milkshakes and stuff. And
oh, the really expensive one?
Yeah. But they sell them in glass jars, and you get to take the jars home.
I guess that makes it more better value.
So it was really cool. And I was wearing my Your Lie in April shirt, the Steinway & Son shirt. And I was walking up, conversing with the guy, getting my order and all of that kind of stuff. And he was like, "Are you a piano player?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he was like, "Oh, I just noticed the logo on your shirt." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. This is from like an anime that I watched and everything like that." And then we started talking about like piano and music and all that kind of stuff.
Very cool.
And it wasn't like directly correlated to like Your Lie in April, but it's still Steinway & Sons.
Yeah. Well, there's that bridge, Zach. There's that connection. That's why music people, classical music people, need to let weebs like classical music. You're going to gatekeep them.
Yeah, I was just about to say, why are people fucking gatekeeping over the types of media that you can enjoy?
That's another topic that we talked about at some point. I don't know when we talked about it. If we ever find it miraculously, then that'll be the episode at the end of the video. But that's besides the point.
I have no fucking idea.
I have no fucking clue. Maybe it was a Your Lie in April episode. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But oh man, I want the piano people. Oh man, I miss my piano club. So much in university. So we're talking about making friends in university, which is impossible.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, honestly, you think you make friends, but it's only friends for the semester,
Yeah.
right? It's friends for that class, and then you never associate with each other ever again.
Mm-hmm.
What you kind of do, like one time, like every now and then I'd see them, and then we'd just say hi. But like we were like pretty good friends in the class.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were taking the shit, having fun and sometimes disrupting class. We were having a great time.
Mm-hmm.
After semester, we're strangers.
That's so fucking weird.
It's so bizarre, and that also taught me that also made me more comfortable to be that person to reach out, like in the beginning, because I know even if we don't become friends along the line, let's say we don't become friends along the line, I don't have to worry about embarrassing myself.
Yeah, because who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? Nobody cares.
Right.
But the one standalone friends that I was able to keep, at least throughout, I mean, we don't talk too much anymore, but that's more because we're done with college. But throughout, from beginning of college to whenever I dropped out, was the unofficial piano club.
That's such a cool story.
It's a great story. Like we're just a bunch of homies that just play. We like music, and then we just got the opportunity to play a grand piano whenever we wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as there was no class at lecture hall. So there's a Yamaha baby grand inside a lecture hall that exists. So in between classes, we would just go there. And sometimes, and then, it was just like whoever wanted to play, whoever got there first played, and we would, after a while, whenever we go to our next class, we would just take turns and whatever, and it was great. Mm-hmm. Or if we were both in between, or we were all in between classes, we would just go in, and while one person is, playing the piano or whatever, everyone else just sits and just talks or works on homework or whatever the fuck, right? Mm-hmm. And it was just such a great vibe. And we weren't an official club, but we saw each other like basically every day, so we may as well have been a club.
Yeah.
We just didn't want to go through the logistics of that. But it was great. And oh man, for some, I mean, I was, it was the variety of music that was played was so fascinating. Mm-hmm. Like some people will be playing classical music. Some people will be playing pop music. Some people would be playing like movie scores or Disney soundtracks.
That's so cool.
And then I'd be playing anime music. It was just a big variety, and everybody was just so excited to hear. And it wasn't ever just like, classical guy shitting on pop music or anime music. It was like me playing my anime music, and then classical guy, shout out Daniel. He was just like, "Oh, that's a good piece. That sounded great. What was that? I was from an anime, and then we chit chat. It was great. Yeah. It was such a, oh man, it was so pleasant. I miss that idea because it's been a while since I've had. It's the closest thing to a jam session I've had in a while, because before I'd have it with my music tutor, but otherwise I never really had just that. But what was also fun was just having an audience, just a mini tiny audience every time. You'd play your pieces or whatever, and then you would get a little bit of feedback. You're like, nice, and then that was it.
Yeah, I think my favorite part about that was you telling me about how the piano got locked.
Yeah, the piano got locked because they're such assholes. I mean, I know why, right? For vandalism reasons or whatever, right? Yeah, I understand. But who the fuck vandalizes a piano?
Assholes.
In the corner, in a lecture hall. You have to go out of your way to do that.
You would have to know where it is, first of all.
You'd have to know where it is and go to it. Sometimes the door is locked. You gotta ask the janitor. And it's like, why? Why? And for what reason do you have to vandalize a wall? I don't fucking know. Or kick a trash can down. For what the, why? Like a piano? Really? That's so specific, you know? That's way too specific. Like if it was in like a street or whatever, like street pianos, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, don't do it, but that makes sense why it would be vandalized.
Yeah.
This is inside a lecture hall.
Right.
And to get into it, you have to go through a hallway with cameras.
Right.
What are you gonna? You're not gonna vandalize this piano. This is vandalized bait at that point. Mm-hmm. Or if you do vandalize, or if you are a vandalizer, that's like, don't vandalize it. It's literally right in front of a camera, like multiple cameras. Or if even there was two entrances. You can go to the hallway, or there's also an outdoor door, or a door to the outside. But you have to go through the center of the school to go into the outdoor door. So it's like you're being seen. Like it's not only have to go like through the center, but you walk past the cafeteria.
Right. Which is chaos.
So it's like you're going to be seen. You're going to be number one suspect if as soon as you walk out this public area, the piano is noted is noted to be trashed. So fuck whoever locked the piano. And the way you unlock it is you go to human resources and ask for the key, which is right next door, which is fine. But sometimes it's locked because they have a meeting.
Right.
And by sometimes I mean like all the time. So what is a couple piano people to do? Well, the good thing is that, and this is not advice, because I can't condone this, but seems like a general fact, which I didn't know, but it makes sense why. The locking key is universal. In general. So I went on eBay and I found it. It just said Yamaha Grand Piano Key. And I'm like, surely not. But I referenced it, right? Because I looked at because we had a key. Like the official key for it. And I looked at the key on eBay. I was like, this is the same thing. Well, I didn't have it yet, but I was like, this is the same thing on this. Okay, let's go for it. It's like $30. Really expensive. But anything, right? I'm curious to see if it ever got found.
I would love to know if it's still in your hiding spot.
I need to go back. I wonder if they'll let me go back. Oh man, that'd be a fun trip. Just to go to just go there. And I'm pretty sure we don't need to be students to go in there. We wouldn't be able to park.
Right.
We would have to park outside of the school or do meter parking, which is a ripoff. But if it's just for a day, it's not that bad. But yeah, we would just go there and just kind of see if the key is still there. And I'm never gonna tell where it is.
I
hid the key. I don't know if I said that. I hid the key somewhere in that lecture hall. Somewhere.
See, I never went to that school, and so it would definitely be interesting to see
if you could find it.
Well, not only if I could find it, but like,
I'll go in there.
Yeah,
it'd be fun. Just a day trip to a university campus. In general, university campuses are public.
I never really think about it like that.
You know what I mean? They're public.
Yeah.
They're not like a high school or middle school. You just go in. It's not like there's a security. Well, there's security guards obviously, but it's not like there's someone holding you at the door. The only thing would be like during the height of COVID, like you have to go in and you have to show your ID and your COVID card or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's how that went down. Because I was asking my friend, and she's also still going to class there, and I was asking, hey, technically I dropped out, but can I still go there? And she's like, I'm pretty sure you can, as long as you show your COVID card and I think your ID. I don't remember. So that may be different now. But before COVID, like I never got stopped. I just walked in. This sounds really bad, and I don't know if I should condone this behavior, but there is nothing technically stopping you from walking inside a classroom that's going on and just sitting during the lectures.
You want to know who was talking about that? Michael Reeves.
Yes, this is exactly why I brought it up, because he said that, and I'm like, yeah, in a big lecture hall, technically that's true. Like in a classroom, that would not fly, obviously.
Oh, no.
But in a big lecture hall, there is nothing stopping you from just walking in, picking an inconspicuous seat, like maybe by someone, and not. It's one of those things where it's like hidden in plain. Or no, I guess not. You would blend in, right? Like you wouldn't pick the corner seat by yourself. That'd be too obvious. Like I have never seen this person in my life, but you could just, you technically could.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to get direct help, and you wouldn't get any of the like worksheets or anything like that, right? So, but like you could sit in a lecture hall. But the only reason why I bring that up is that's just how public a university is. So I feel like I can just go there, and if I really wanted to, just play the piano. That being said, does that mean that we can't just go to the high school and do that? Because you said, but then you have to uncoffin the gram or whatever.
Yeah, the grand piano at Prairie is in a giant coffin.
Right. So if we wanted to play a grand piano, maybe I guess you go to your church or whatever. But
oh yeah, that's true. There's a grand piano over there.
But would they just let you go in and play it?
Jackson and I have gone and played on the stage there, just jammed for a while, so I don't think it would be a problem.
Yeah, but a part of me does want to go there to WSU just for old time's sakes and just kind of vibe out.
Bro, take me with you.
That'd be fun. Yeah, let's have a day trip to WSU, and then we get stopped and yelled at or whatever. But the only thing is, I've never parked outside of the parking lot. So, like a lot of people, they would park in the neighborhood. Again, like I said, but for a university, that's really far away, because this campus is like its own property, and it goes in the building itself is more inside the property. So it's a long walk from the neighborhood to the campus. But I mean, some people did that because they have to, because parking is a ripoff.
Yeah, that's
We
fair.
spent several $100s just to park close.
That's fucked.
That's fucked. It's predatory. You come on, like you're already sucking up thousands of dollars from us. Why do you have to make us do this?
Yeah, that's
At least
fucked.
make it part of the loan, so that way you don't have to stomach it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to stomach the fact of paying like $100+ up front. It's just part of your loans because you're already gonna fucking die anyway. So it's part like 2% of your loan.
You're like, I'm already gonna die with a shit ton of debt.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
already in debt anyways. Just make that part of it so I don't have to pay up front. You know?
Yeah.
See, that's a psychology thing. You're still paying it, but it's not up front.
See, if you're gonna saw my arm off, at least put on like a tourniquet, you know?
Yes. So that's one thing. I feel like that sounds like it's self-explanatory. Like if the school is already sucking those monies, that value out of you,
Yeah.
you may as well just make that parking included. The only reason why you wouldn't is so that like everybody would get it. So it would be like first come first serve parking. But
Yeah, but it's still shitty.
you have to. I'm pretty sure because the parking in WSU, for my understanding, is on color. So there's green parking, or no, orange parking. I think is the closest. Then green, then red, then gray. Makes no sense, by the way, but whatever. And obviously you have to pay more to go to those higher to the better parkings for orange and for green, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think gray was free. I can't remember. But it was a long walk.
Oh yeah.
But I'm pretty sure gray was free. I cannot remember. But in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that long because the campus itself was pretty close.
Yeah.
So as long as it was about the same walking distance as maybe if you were going to park somewhere in the corner of Clark and you had a class in the middle of Clark.
That's fair. Yeah, the whole parking situation at Clark was super weird.
I don't think there was priority parking, was there?
No.
Yeah, there wasn't.
It was just first come, first serve,
Right.
which made it super fucking chaotic because everyone's coming and going.
Yeah, which makes so to say that's indication of like good honor system. But at that point, then you should just have like, hey, like it'll go to your debt, but let you know this is going to be $100. So now you have that psychological stomaching of I'm going to pay $100 for this, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not putting my credit card information in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be part of my debt. But that just be a fact that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, don't tell them.
Right.
So now you have the like, if you know and that's okay, then that's fine. Or if you know and that's not okay, then don't do it, right?
Right.
So there'd be more people taking that parking, which would be lame, but it would still allow for an easier way to stomach the idea of paying more for parking. That's all. But it's still expensive and it's still predatory, and parking should, I don't know. There should be a better system. Again, I don't know what that system would be. Maybe like a parking garage or a structure. So that way you talk about what is the third dimension? It's air.
Yeah.
It's elevation, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's left and like one direction. One dimension is forward and back.
One direction.
One direction, baby, you like. I actually liked One Direction back then.
I don't know. I was kind of impartial to it because it was kind of like
It was stereotypical boy band, but it's fun. Like I like Justin Bieber too.
Yeah.
Anyways, like there's front and back, which is the first dimension.
Right.
There's left and right, which is the second dimension.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third dimension, well, I guess it would be the in between, but just elevation.
Yeah.
So how do you make more space? Well, just create a parking structure.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the places that does it right is Legacy, the hospital, because they have 2 parking garages. Both of them are free.
Is that Salmon Creek or no? No, that's the Kaiser, right?
Salmon Creek.
Oh.
Legacy is
Okay.
Salmon Creek.
Okay.
But yeah, they have like multiple parking garages and like multiple structures for you to be able to park, and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is that if you do that at a college, then they're probably going to end up doing the same shit that they've been doing with every other parking spot, where it's like, oh, you have to give us, $250 in your right pinky toe to be able to go and park your fucking car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm sure that they would inflate that price too.
Yeah, but if there is more, then I would think that the overall price of parking would go down.
Oh, I'm sure it would.
Maybe. At least down a little bit. Because now there is a more... actually, I don't know. Money politics, I think it's not fair. I think it's not fair to squeeze that much money out of college students that are already in debt. But that's another topic for another time. But yeah, I'd love to visit WSU campus and just fuck around. Just have a day there. Maybe eat at the cafeteria or whatever. Just fuck around.
Dude, so I'm pretty sure I told you about this. I went to Clark College for the Clark College Jazz Festival. And I just went there to watch because Prairie was performing there. And then also Jackson was working at the event for the music shop he works at. And I saw like obviously I saw the high school band director, and then I saw the college jazz band director. And I feel like I talked about this before, but it was really interesting just seeing how packed it was in the auditorium, just like seeing how many people were there. And I leaned over to Jackson and I was like, hey, dude, was there this many people here when we were playing? And he was like, yeah, probably. I was like, oh, shit. Like, this is pretty gnarly. Like, there are easily a couple hundred people there. And, there were at least a couple hundred seats. And then there were people basically crowded around both of the entrances into the auditorium. And so it was really cool. And to think that, I played at that festival for, like 10 years or something like that, from like 2011 or 2010 to 2020, but it was just super cool. And like, meeting or like seeing people who were playing at Clark who I knew and like all of that kind of stuff. It was really, really fascinating. And just being at Clark was weird because I had not been there since, I was going to school there. And so it was definitely super interesting. But I definitely would be down to go back and just kind of like see what's up.
Was there ever a public piano at Clark?
No, I don't think so. I do know that there were pianos in the practice rooms in like the music building, but I don't know if there was
let you in, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe you. I mean, like not you, but like people.
I'm sure they would.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, the band director is the same from when I was going there,
right?
And so I'm sure if I was just like, hey, yo, how's it going? Bop-a-da-boopy. He would be like, all right, come in. God damn it.
Yeah, the only problem with the grand piano for ours was if there was, a class in that lecture hall, then you couldn't go in.
Right, yeah.
So that was lame, and there wasn't really any way for me. I guess I could have noted down when those classes were, but I couldn't be asked,
Yeah.
Because that would change every semester, so it would be no point. But yeah, it would just wait patiently, and it's interesting because I would spend so much time there. Like I would, in times where some people would just go back home, I would just stay there and just play the piano.
Oh, dude, I would do the same thing like in the practice rooms. It would so
blow off the steam of college. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I mean, what's really funny is that I would just hang out in the music building just because, I mean, for one, that's where like all my homies were. All the people who I was actually close with were like in the music program, doing like a music degree or something like that. And also they were in the jazz band, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did feel kind of bad because one of the guys who spent a lot of time there was the other Barry sax player who was auditioning for the jazz band that semester that I was playing with them. And so I saw him a lot, and he was just like, oh, how's it going in the jazz band? And I'm like, oh, it's going really good. And he's like, oh, cool. And then, he looked at me with those eyes like, I fucking hate you. Like, God damn it, why couldn't it have been me?
Oh, the internal politics.
Oh, dude, it was really funny. And I felt really bad because he was a really good player. And, of course, there was that side of me that was like, I shouldn't be here. But, I mean, whatever.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Yeah. It is.
I will say that is the thing I miss about college the most. This may be different for you, but for me in high school, I mean, I did do extracurricular because I did track, but nothing. I want for high school, during high school, I never wanted to stay. I want to go there and leave.
That's fair.
In college, like that freedom of just like, oh, I mean, I have some time between classes, just walk around or hang out at a class or hang out with a teacher or go to the cafeteria, hang out, see who's there. Maybe there's someone I know, and you just stay on campus. that idea of staying on campus and campus life in WSUV, Vancouver, the satellite campus near us, not WSU in Pullman. The campus life here, like it didn't really exist because there's no dorm life or anything like that. But there was just something, even at Clark, there's just something about just staying on campus and hanging out.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. Like I loved that a lot. And I missed that. That was the only reason why I stayed at WSU. As soon as we went to Zoom, I had no motivation at all. No reason for me to be in these classes.
What's interesting is that I kind of had a lot more of a motivation to stay on campus when I was at Prairie, when I was in high school, because the extracurricular activities that I was a part of would kind of vary on how long I would be there. So like, let's say there was a basketball game that night.
Sure.
And we had practice, like the pep band practice after school till 3:30 maybe. And the basketball game's at 6. I would probably just walk or drive over to Winco, pick up some food, and just hang out in the commons until the basketball game started. Because that was just kind of like, what I did. And a lot of times I would be staying at school just so that I didn't have to go home, because I was just like, there's nothing to do at home.
Well, let me ask you this, Zach. Let me riddle you this.
Riddle me that.
It's a half day.
Okay.
And you have no obligation to stay anymore. You don't have band practice or something. Are you staying in school?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I see your point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're gone. I don't want to be here. For me, in high school, that's how it was. In college, I have one class that day. It's in the morning, and I stay there until like 3-4 p.m. just to stay there.
Yeah.
That's it. It just play piano, talk with some friends that are still there, eat there. I'm just there.
I mean, there were many occasions where I would just kind of hang out at the high school just because. I mean, it kind of had to come to a bitter end because, I mean, I was really close with both the band director, the choir director, the drama teacher, all of that kind of stuff. And so I wouldn't say that I got special privileges, but they kind of understood that I'm not going to pull any weird shenanigans other than the time that I flipped a bottle onto a speaker that was 15 feet off the ground, and then they found out about it years after I graduated. Anyways, that was harmless.
Yeah, it's fine. You can do worse things.
Right, and
you got to build that trust,
Right, yeah.
The janitor that I was talking about at the lecture hall, I would just ask, this is late into the night. This is literally me doing night classes. And all the doors are locked or whatever, and I see the janitor, and I'm like, hey, can you just unlock this door? And and we don't really know each other, but he knows that I play the piano all the time. And he just knows that I'm not going to do anything other than play the piano. He's like, yeah, go ahead. So, and then he locks the door and lets me play the piano. It's that trust that you got to build. That's really tough, but it's a trust that you can do. And it's like a trust, someone would trust me, for an edit or whatever. Maybe not deadlines, but, you're going to do a good job in the edit. Yeah. I'm not going to freak out, and I'm like, yeah, thank you. It's that trust where it's like, you're not going to vandalize piano. You're not going to vandalize the band room. Well, go ahead. But there are some people that I know probably will. And is that based off of assumption? Maybe. But it's not. It's assumptions that aren't baseless.
Right.
So, it's a fair thing to make when you have a responsibility of letting people inside a room with expensive equipment.
Right.
So those assumptions are validated.
Yeah, it's really interesting talking about it with people who have made similar connections in other facets, like at different schools, all of that kind of stuff, because it all kind of applies to the same overarching idea of if you are respectful and are respectful of people's time and, courteous to other people, hey, or if the band director was leaving early that day and I wanted to go in and play the piano or do whatever, he would just be like, hey, I'm taking off. I got to lock up. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. That's fine. But on the days where I would be there till 4 or 5 o'clock at night, and the janitor at Prairie, actually, I got into cahoots with him. And he would unlock the band room door for me. He would unlock like a whole bunch of different stuff just so that I could sit and play piano or practice stuff for the bands or whatnot. That was really, really cool, and I'm really grateful for the types of connections I was able to make with those people. And it's all about making meaningful connections and all of those types of things. And it really goes to show how much being nice to someone can be beneficial for both parties involved.
Crazy how that works, Zach.
That's so
you
fucking
be a
wild.
nice person, and then they be a nice person back, and you both benefit.
Yeah, I mean, my oldest brother, he is a man with a million connections. Like he was the guy who got us into Club 33.
Bryce, right?
Yeah, Bryce.
Yeah.
And he knows the guy who built his in-ground pool. He got it for a deal. He has all of these different connections with all these different people just because he's a good dude. Like, he's a nice guy. And that's it. Like, literally all he does is like, if you get me this time, I got you for whatever you need later on. Like that's the kind of dynamic that he has. And he's been able to take that and just fucking run with it.
Yeah, well, favors go a long way.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, exchanging monopoly money doesn't do anything for a lot of people,
Right.
So favors, scratching each other's itch, that goes farther than anywhere else. That's why, like, I don't know, the idea of getting discounts from people that you know, or like barter culture.
Yeah.
Is that the right word I'm using? Like bartering, haggle culture. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Where you could, like, if you're confident in and you know the area, you know the people. It's more just like, it's not that I'm making a transaction. We're just having a conversation and we're figuring it out. Like, oh, I'll do this I'll throw in this meat for this or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that is not necessarily. The idea of haggling is not necessarily you bringing down the cost, but rather, you're having a conversation and they trust you as you go, and like, sure, I'll do it for this,
Right.
That idea. So yeah, human interaction is invaluable to, like, the monopoly money or digits on your phone.
Right.
It's invaluable.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about you using your social strengths and like your the strengths in your character of like interacting with people and being approachable and being personable and relatable. That can really take you a lot further than you would initially expect.
Well, even if you're not that sociable, if you like there's some people that I know frequent the store that I worked at, the bubble tea store I worked at, that aren't the most sociable, but they come all the time and they're more quieter and they're more reserved. And sometimes I'll just throw in the discount.
Yeah.
Because they're not like overly social, but they're nice, and they're polite. And I can't say that for the majority of the customers I work with. And it's like, hey, I mean, I won't say anything, but I'll just slide a discount or whatever. I don't know, just every now and then. It's human decency.
Yeah.
And that's the saddest thing I can say, but human decency is the bare minimum of good human interaction.
It's so fascinating because it sounds like such a no-brainer, but it's really not. And I thought it was so cool that every time I would see you at the bubble tea place, you'd be like, hey, yo, I got you. I'll ring you up. And then you just throw a discount in there. And I'm like, I got like, thanks, BB. But like, it's not like I'm asking you for it. Like if it was like, hey, yo, Arthur, let me get that discount, BB, then I would expect you to be like,
I would look you in the face and say no.
Yeah, that's what I would expect, And the people who are asking for you or asking for special treatment are usually the people who don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And that's just like how it works. That's how the world works. Like the people who are willing to just kind of be like, okay, I'll pay full price for this bubble tea, like, whatever, I don't really care. And anytime I went through the line and you weren't there, I was just like, man, whatever, fuck it, I don't really care. And it was just like it was fine. And then you would tell me what the price is, and I'd be like, oh, thanks, buddy.
There's some things where it's like, you know, if someone comes up, right, and I'm not working there, and they tell someone who is the cashier or whatever who's working there, oh, I know Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
That is, for me in this scenario, is not okay. But let's say, for example, I go into a shoe store or something. I don't do shoes, but I'm using this as an example because my uncle told me about this because he knows someone who runs a shoe store in the mall, and they're like, oh, you know, if you ever go there, tell them you know so and so, and that would get me the hookup. So it's different scenarios, different stores, different relationships, right?
Yeah.
But I guess maybe that depends because maybe it's based off of a relationship that you have with that person. Because if I know, maybe it's like a family member and they say, oh, I am so-and-so's daughter. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Sure. You know? Then yeah, I'll throw it in, whatever. But if like, oh, I know, you know, I think that's the problem. I know this person. Like, how do I know that you know this person? If you tell me you're so-and-so's, like my aunt's daughter, I mean, you know, first of all, you had to find that name.
Yeah.
And then second of all, okay, cool.
Now what?
We're family.
Yeah.
But if it's like, oh, I know one of the workers, like, cool, so do I.
I know a lot of them. That's crazy.
So I don't know. It's definitely, it's one of those judgment things. We have to make that judgment, but that also comes with the human interaction thing, where you interact with this human being for a bit, and you're like, okay, I can trust this person, and you have that small window to do so. Right. But you can do it. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but when you work with a lot of people, you can figure it out.
Yeah, and I mean, in the bubble tea example, one of the things that I would do pretty much every time I was at the mall, because I was never at the mall, I would kind of walk by the bubble tea place and see if we were working there, and then, you know, I would hop in line and be like, hey, yo, is Arthur working today? And they'd be like, oh, no. And I'm like, I bet I'll get such and such with such and such. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then I would, you know, transaction, and then I would be on my merry way. Just because it's like, you know, I'm not going to deny this place service just because one of my homies isn't working there.
Right.
At that time.
Oh yeah, I've there's been people who are like, oh hey, is this person working? And I'm like, oh no, not today. I'm like, oh okay, cool. And they start ordering, and that's cool. And I don't give them the discount, and that's fine. Because in general, I'm not supposed to do that anyways. So, right. Like it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like imagine that remember that? It's so fucking stupid. Hannah Montana. Yeah. There was like this one episode. I think it was like the first episode where she gets a job at some smoothie place, and they're like, and then she just gives everybody free smoothies or something.
I don't remember that episode, but
it was like one of the first episodes. It was the same episode where she was in love with High School Musical guy, and she was nervous. So, and this is Miley Cyrus, and she tells him that putting ketchup on your hand makes your hand smoother. I don't know why I remember this, but I just thought it was.
Oh God, I do too.
Oh, you do? Okay, see, yeah.
What the fuck?
And then they were putting ketchup on their hands and they were rubbing it, and like, oh, it is kind of smoother. I don't know. It was really silly, but I'm pretty sure that was the same episode where she was just handing out free smoothies because she got a job at the smoothie place and she was told that she can give a free smoothie away, and she misinterpreted that as many as you want rather than just one. So you know, I keep that at heart for no reason. I think about that a lot whenever I give away discounts.
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. Get the best of both worlds, you know? And I think about that every single time. And I make sure, am I doing the right thing?
That's fair.
Am I pulling a Miley Cyrus right now? Am I going too far? That's all I think about.
Am I giving
Miley Cyrus dictates my life. My customer service skills is dictated by Miley Cyrus in 2007.
We weren't in customer service in 2000. Anyways.
No, in 2007, I recall to that moment in 2007, and that dictates how my customer service goes in present day.
That's so fucking funny. Yeah. Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. Man, I miss playing that grand piano. Yeah, we should definitely have a day where we just go kind of vibe out.
I think it'd be really funny if we tried to go to both of the colleges that we went to, like try to go to Clark and then try to go to WSU.
We could, because I mean, Clark, free parking. WSU, not free parking. So WSU is not an all-day trip.
Fair enough.
You know?
Yeah.
Because what is it, like it's like $1, not $1. It's like probably like a quarter per or something. I don't know. You had to spend a lot of money. They really get you.
They're like, that'll be
Metered parking sucks.
$2 an hour. It's like, bro, I'm gonna spend
Not even, Bob. Yeah, no, yeah, it's probably like 2 hours an hour. Yeah.
I'm gonna be here for
God.
fucking 10 hours, assholes.
There's been some times where I just like I have a class and I don't have the orange, which is the best parking, right? And I'm near late for a class, and I'm like, fuck. All right, I'm just gonna pay for like 30 minutes of this meter, and then go and then run the fuck back and see if I get ticketed. Never got ticketed.
Fuck yeah.
But the reason is more just because you don't really. I don't know if it works on a sensor basis. Probably not. But it works on like people making rounds, right?
Oh yeah.
So there's I guess not security guard, but we'll just say security guard for this. It's just someone working that makes rounds and verifies that people have the right parking sticker and so they're in the right color coordination, and, the meters or whatever like that, right? So if you can somehow game the system where you find out when they're not making their rounds, you could probably park for free. That being said, the rounds are probably inconsistent, so it'd be a really tough game to play. But if you can somehow crack that game, you can probably park there for free.
Bro, hidden in plain sight. It's like going to a university and fucking sitting in for a class that you didn't pay for.
Exactly. They'll never know.
The world may never know.
And I don't even feel bad doing it because it's predatory.
Parking. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, so,
you just got 10 grand out of me.
Yeah, fuck you. They probably make so much money on parking. Oh my goodness. If there's like 100 people in one parking, no, not even. I'm gonna say 100 people in one parking color, like orange or whatever, and it costs like $200 per semester. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like, are you kidding me? Per semester. And it's not even 100. It's multiple $100. Multiple 100 people.
That's fucked.
Like, that's so fucked. You're already tapping so much money out of us. Why do you have to pay that much more for parking? If anything, here, you keep the pricing ladder, but make the top tier like $50, then $30. So that way the $30 to $50 is still a jump.
Yeah.
To get the much closer parking, like just one tier up, but like let's say best $50, $30, $20, $10. I think
that would be fine. I mean, and also they would be making a ton of money too.
So the $50 one, like it's a $20 jump from 30 to 50. Which is more than the other ones, right? But that makes the incentive of $30 is going to be the baseline for most people. And then if you want to go downwards, depending on how much you care to walk, you can do that. But if you have that extra 20, then you can park really close to campus.
Right.
So it's like, it's for the people who want to. Otherwise, the $30 parking is fine.
The $20 parking is fine.
The $20, the $30 is fine. And if you were, hey, I got that 20 this time around, then you can do that.
Splurge a little.
Yes, exactly. And this is not that bad. Because you're already giving them thousands of dollars anyways. What's $20? Because if you're paying thousands of dollars, $100, $200 is still a good percentage of that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, fuck. Fuck, man.
I don't want to do this anymore.
I don't want to do it. So just make it like, it's so that way the pricing structure still exists, but it's cheaper. And it would incline more people to pay for the higher prices rather than the lower prices.
Right.
So it's a win-win for both people, or for all parties. People, more people pay for better parking, for the higher tiers, and it's not too much to pay for the higher tiers. So in the long run, they still probably break even,
and I'm sure that they would get
or make the same amount of money rather.
Yeah,
because more people are paying for the higher prices.
Right, and I'm sure that it would encourage more people to get those parking passes as well, because it's more attainable for everybody, and for the people who don't want to walk 2 miles to get to their fucking class for their one class that they have that day. It's like, Jesus, man.
It's not good, but I don't know. In retrospect, I keep thinking about it, and like the parking wasn't that bad at WSU. Like if you got the red parking, which was I think the third, 304. It still wasn't that bad. Like I got red parking like every time, and I bought green parking, and then I bought orange parking, and I deduced that the green was the best value, but red wasn't that bad.
God, dude,
you had to at least get there like maybe 5 minutes earlier.
Dude, finding parking at Clark was such a shit show.
Yeah, no, it was just not great. Like luckily, because I had morning classes, The parking. No, actually, no. I don't know. It's tough. I want to say it's bad. I think it's just bad all day round until you get like to the later days or to later into the day. This is not great. I do wish there was some better way, but I mean, that I guess it depends on where you are because like the dental area, for example, like that corner, it's like always open. And there's one area like closer to that in like the main area, but closer to that corner of the dental. I don't know how to else explain it, but I mean I think they're color coordinated as well, but I forget. It's also always empty. So it's like, you know, if you have classes there, then nice, you know.
Nice.
Well, there was one, I think it was a science building or whatever, and that shit was always parked or always packed, which is very sad. So I guess it depends.
Yeah. Very, very interesting to think about. And I mean, you know, it all just kind of depends upon what you have going on. Like what you're going to school for can drastically change like where you park, where, you know, what your route is through the school and everything like that. Because I spent most of my day in like the music hall.
Right. Well, if you, like, for example, had all day classes, you probably wouldn't feel that bad to park further away because you're going to spend most of your time in the campus anyways.
Yeah.
You know? So, but if you only have like one class that day, if you have to park really far, that's a bummer. That sucks. You know? Like, I got to walk really far, sit down in a classroom for an hour, and then walk really far again. You know? That's lame.
Yeah.
But if you're all day, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a bell curve. There's like, is that right? Bell curve.
Bell curve. I mean, I know what you're talking about. I don't know bell curve. I use the word bell curve a lot to explain things that isn't really a bell curve, but it feels right to say bell curve.
It's close enough. I don't know. My brain is kind of melting.
It doesn't make any sense, but I know what you're talking about. It's that thing where I say I use a really, really big word, but it doesn't fit, but it makes sense within the context. Like you can imagine what that word is supposed to mean.
Preponderance.
Subjugation.
My brain is silly putty, bro.
My brain is silly putty too. I've been working on this edit. I launched it. Oh God, I've been just working on it all the way until literally I finished it yesterday or last night, which was this morning.
Okay.
And I quote unquote finished it. And by that I mean this is the final render. I'm not going. This is the first render, or this is the first final render. I'm not going back to fix anything. Whatever we get is what we get because I don't have any time to fix anything. This is what we get, and I'm leaving to go off out of country, so we're not getting anything else.
Is it rendered right now? Is that
it's rendered. I uploaded. Yeah, it's on the computer over there. When you walked in, it was rendering overnight.
Nice. That's exciting, dude. I'm really excited to hear the stories about your trip to the Philippines.
Yeah, I hope it's. I mean, it will be interesting. I mean, we got a fucking itinerary. You know?
Oh, dude, that's the way to do it. I mean, like a loose itinerary where you have like something small to do on each day, but then the rest of the day it's like the world is your oyster. Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck.
There should be a goal because if there's a day like, okay, find something to do. Oh, I don't fucking know. I just have something to do so we can branch off. You know,
bro, I'm in a different fucking country.
How do you know? I have two things I know I want to do there. One is visit my friend in the Philippines, Nathan. Shout out Nathan. And two, go to a keyboard store or something like that.
Do they have a bunch of keyboard stores in the Philippines?
Yeah, I think so. It's like I'm pretty sure like there's a lot of I think so. It's more of a Singapore thing, I think. But I want to say that there are like, I know for a fact keyboard game is bigger over there in Southeastern Asia. So I want to say that there was probably physical keyboard stores. I want to say. Even if it's not that big, I want to say that it exists. So I'd like to go there to see what's up. Maybe build a keyboard. That'd be fun.
Dude, that would be really cool.
Build a keyboard in the Philippines. Oh, that'd be so fun.
That could be cool. Imagine the types of keycaps that you could get over there.
Yeah, I mean, they'd probably be clones, but I mean, I think they may be GMK sets. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to spend a lot of money.
Oh, right. You
know, that would be a bad idea. But in general, like, it would be just cool to have a keyboard. I don't know, actually. Maybe it would be fun to spend a lot of money. So we're spending a lot of money anyways. So I mean, what's a couple more? Or rather, I'm going there and a lot of my expenses being paid for.
Yeah.
You know, so since I'm there already and a lot of the expensive stuff is being paid for, then what's splurging a little bit? Because I don't know if you knew this, Zach, but the price the conversion rate from USD to whatever the Philippines currency is nuts. As in, like, the US dollar is so strong there.
Yeah.
It's strong, Zach. I don't remember what the conversion rate is, but it's like you can get a pretty good meal for like maybe $5.
Bruv.
Like a pretty good meal.
That's cool. That could be cool.
Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty stoked to see what I can get with my value, but I mean not for capitalizing wise, but or taking advantage wise, but it's like I'm there.
Win in Rome.
Win in Rome, So it'd be exciting to see how much less I can pay for a keyboard there versus here.
That could actually be really, really cool. Now that I think about
If
it.
I was a content creator, that'd be great. That would be great monetary, or great content. But I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I'm going to bring my camera, and yeah, I'll see what I do. I don't want to vlog though. That's the only thing.
I think you should just enjoy yourself and just try to have the best time that you can while you're there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be with some people I don't even know, so hey, I'm also gonna point a camera at you guys. Ha ha. No, that's Yeah, but I'll probably I don't know. I'll have a time. I'll bring my 16 and maybe my 50. Do it. Yep. But yes, thank you everybody. The next time you see me, I'm gonna be back from the Philippines. Next time you see us, Zach will be back from Vegas. So we're all gonna have a nice week vacation after pumping out a bunch of episodes for y'all. And then when we come back, it'll be the big episode 100.
The hundo.
I hope we can figure out all the logistics for it because I haven't really prepared for it.
Oh, fuck, I haven't either.
So, I hope we can figure it out. Otherwise, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Just a normal episode. Whatever. It'll still be a grand old time. But yes, thank you so much. Subscribe. It means a lot that you guys have supported us for this long. I'll keep this brief. Subscribe if you haven't. It helps us a lot. Like the video. It helps us tremendously. Go to the description. Hit our links if you'd like to, and that'd be a great time. If you want, how about we bring you to a very old episode of when we were talking about first traveling to Japan. That'd be fun. Or our plans of traveling to Japan.
Ooh, okay.
Right. I think it was called "Is Japan Overrated?" I think. So yeah, that we can do that one, and then yeah, YouTube can pick this one, of course, or rather, let's just go to the previous episode. But thank you guys so much, and yeah, have a good day.
Be good people. Love your face. Goodbye.